News 4 at 4, live with a forewarned weather alert.
Oh yeah, snow and frigid temperatures keeping the mid-state under a forewarned weather alert for a second day. Residents in Williamson and Rutherford counties woke up to this scene, making their commutes a little dicey today. And behind me, we've got Drone 4 grabbing the bird's eye view over Belle Meade. It was beautiful, but it did cause some problems. Today's snowfall left a lot of parents in a tough situation.
Another level of fear comes in of the school doesn't know where my kids are. They're not where they said they were going to be, and I don't know where they are.
Yeah, that's scary. A lot of parents sharing the same sentiment as the Rutherford County dad you just heard from there, after the school district made that call to close at the last minute. News 4's Rebecca Cardenas is with us here in front of Rutherford County Schools. Okay, so there are two issues here, right? Parents were upset, number one, about the timing of all of this, and then number two, they felt like their kids were in danger.
Yeah, Lauren, that's exactly right. I mean, if you stepped outside today, you know how cold it is. Just look how bundled we are right now. Well, these parents say that they got the message that school was being canceled and their kids were being sent home so abruptly that they had to all but race home from work to make sure that their kids weren't waiting outside in these temperatures.
I just got into work, made coffee, and we got the automated school message from Rutherford County saying that school was closed.
Jackpot's receiving this message at 7:51 a.m. School was canceled, but his kids were already there. He called and said he could pick them up.
And they said my kids were already on the way home.
Potts forced to rush home in what he says were dangerous conditions.
My kids don't have a key. They're 5, 6, and 11. No way for them to get in the house.
Getting there just as the bus pulled away.
And my kids weren't there, like the school told me they were. A whole nother level of fear comes in of the school doesn't know where my kids are.
Thankfully, Potts found his children still at school.
I think if you're going to make a judgment call, especially a quick one, you have to have a plan in place.
We got this statement from Rutherford County Schools saying in part, from 4 to 6:30 this morning, weather forecasts called for nothing more than a possible dusting.
This continues to race farther off down to the south. Nashville's only live radar is showing the snow sinking off farther off down to the south.
News 4 meteorologist Laura Bannon showed the snow falling around 4 this morning, moving south. She tracked that system on air all morning long. Potts says his main concern was the abruptness of the decision put his kids' safety in jeopardy.
Yes, temperatures, but the world we live in nowadays, you can't just leave your kids at home alone, much less outside alone.
In response to that, a Rutherford County school spokesperson says, quote, we instructed bus drivers to bring students back to school if they knew there was no one home or if students couldn't get inside. Now, I did speak with another Rutherford County parent, a mother over email this afternoon, who tells me that she saw a group of kids in her neighborhood this morning standing by themselves. They didn't have a way of getting inside their homes as she was taking her own child home from school this morning. Lauren?
Yeah, and it's interesting, Rebecca, because parents were upset there because schools were closed. It was the opposite issue in Metro Nashville because parents were upset schools were open.
Yes, that's exactly right. Metro actually sent out this tweet with their explanation for their decision this morning. It says, in part, their team carefully assessed the roads from what they describe as unexpected winter weather. That tweet met with several angry replies from parents. One saying if safety was truly at the forefront of decisions, they would have canceled. Others saying they wrecked themselves on their commute this morning. Another calling their communication about the decision appalling. Lauren?
Okay, Rebecca, thank you so much for that live report here. I want to bring Chief Meteorologist Lisa Spencer into this conversation. You were saying even last night we could see patchy snow throughout the overnight hours into the morning, and it just was unfortunate that the patch happened to be over a very heavily populated area. Not a great time of the morning drive for people to be dealing with it either.
And it does make it difficult for those school officials to make those decisions when it's happening right when it was happening. And we'll walk you back through it, show you exactly what we were seeing on radar. This is at 2 a.m. and we started looking at this in Kentucky even at 10 last night. And so here it is dropping southward right into about 4 o'clock here, making its way through Portland and here around 4:30 coming into Nashville over to Hendersonville and then continuing right in the heart of a very populated area right at 7 o'clock, making its way all the way down to Murfreesboro. So the timing was terrible. It moved out quickly though, and what it left behind was not a great deal because then we had the sun come out, and as you can see now, all is dry for us. But when all was said and done, we were talking about in the Nashville area around a dusting to a ½ inch in many locations. And you can see here in Indian Mound in Stewart County about a ½ inch, not even an inch in Dover or Clarksville, but certainly enough to to cause some problems.